Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, you can catch me right here each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6 p.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil is on the air. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in the community, we talk about it. But most of all, we talk politics because politics is everything, and everything is politics. Come on in here. Let's talk. We got a lot to talk about. As always, in Memphis, Tennessee. Only in Memphis, Tennessee. My Lord, what in the world is happening to us in Memphis, Tennessee? One thing is in chaos, and we have to accept and recognize that we are a city that is in chaos. Everybody talks. Citizens of Memphis, you do not realize, or you realize, that the reason they talk about us is because of one thing. We don't have leaders, we have greeters. People who are greedy to do this, that, and the other to get ahead on you. They're so greedy that they don't do the right thing for you to represent you. And therefore, we can end up with a messed up school board system. So greedy that they know they take from Peter to pay themselves. Even they greedy when they leave out Paul. It's all about them. But you have the opportunity, and I keep saying it, to make a difference in this community. Now, if you didn't go register to vote, and you know that you was qualified to vote, you just as bad as the greedy individual that we got in office. Because guess what you're doing? You're taking away the right that you have to make a difference in this city. So you greedy, you greedy, you greedy, you greedy, you greedy because you sit at home and won't get up and do this and that and the other. And I'm just going to tell it like it is. But the first time a church is giving away something, somebody giving away food, if you would get up quick enough as you go get in the food line to get food because you don't have food. If you would get up and just go down and register to vote, you can make a difference in this community. Now, the difference that you could make in this community is that when you see these politicians that are doing something against the flow of your community, then it's on you. It's on you. And I know people, I understand. I just get a little tick when I think about people and what they do and what they don't do, and how they quick to take a handout because they don't have anything to put on the plate. That's your fault. That is a community effort that we should do like we used to do. And sometimes you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, when a community sits here and talk about that the law should be passed for marijuana, I question that. I question that because there is a terrible fallout that will happen to the community if these individuals in leadership ever get to the point that they pass a law about marijuana, pot, whatever you want to call it. I know alcohol is just as bad. I do know that. People get hooked on alcohol, they get DUIs and what have you. But as bad as you say alcohol is, marijuana to me, through the experience that I've seen as a law enforcement officer, as an individual in this community, I think it would be 3 times as bad as alcohol. Now, alcohol, you can start at a young age getting uh, on alcohol, drinking it, yes, yes. But then again, alcohol, substance don't go as much and do as worse as marijuana. Alcohol can get you to get behind the wheel and run into somebody and kill somebody. Yes, that's bad. I can name all the things related to alcohol, family abuse, individuals in the family becoming alcoholic. I can say that Alcohol Anonymous is around giving 12 steps or whatever the steps are to recover some people from alcohol. And then some people never recover because they become addicted to alcohol. And I have all the sympathy for anybody who ever gone through an individual that was abusing alcohol and the repercussions behind that. I sympathize with you, but my God, from where I have sit, from the squad cars, the fugitive cars that I have witnessed, and the people who want to start smoking as they used to call it a joint, way before they start drinking alcohol. Oh yeah, these young people would rather have a blunt, a joint, or 8 ball before they pick up a drink to drink. And some may disagree. Yeah, they may grab alcohol at a young age. But again, where did they get that from? Somebody in the family must have abused alcohol and they became an alcoholic. Why do young people begin to smoke? Well, somebody in the family was smoking and they decide that they would get a cigarette and start smoking and it become a habit. Alcohol becomes a habit. What you see at home and what you see in your life, you turn around and do it because the people you supposed to respect, from father to mother to sister to brother, you say, well, if they did it, I can do it. And that's all it's about. It's about you following the leader instead of being a leader yourself. I have never felt for alcohol, any kind of drug, and I'm 73 years old because I was an athlete, because I ran track, I did things, and I just was bred it in me. If I was going to be a better athlete, if I was going to be a better track star, if I was going to be a better football player, if I was going to be a better baseball player, I could not drink alcohol. I could not abuse drugs. It was embedded in me. And just like it was embedded in me, the people who are supposed to be leaders of our household, our community, when they get on television and they say that we should come up, Memphis, Tennessee should come up like Arkansas, like Colorado, and other places who have decided to legalize marijuana. Then you got a problem in Memphis, Tennessee. You think the problem right now you have, if they ever do that, you're going to have one of the biggest problems because Memphis is a city that they are creatures of habit and they'll follow a bad habit. But it hurts me to my soul, ladies and gentlemen, to hear are supposed to be a leader, elected official. One said we need to uh, grow it at least 15 plants. The other knucklehead said here recently, oh, we need to catch up with other states. I have to speak on this, and I have to speak on this from experience, from a leader point of view, from a deputy sheriff's point of view, from a man of God and believing in what's right for our community, for our children. And these same leaders that said we need to legalize marijuana, we need to catch up with the other states. But then on the side of their mouth, they say, we got to protect our children. You hypocrite. You hypocrite. How many of our children will try the marijuana because, oh, Lona Lamar said we need it. Uh, Touche Parkinson said we need to try to pass it. That says to me, them two people there is on the boat of ignorance, and they supposed to be so-called leaders. Wrong is wrong. Tell the truth on the devil, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm calling the devil out, just like Jesus did. He called the devil out. Satan, come forth, he said it, and Satan did. Now you got to do it. When it comes to your vote, and somebody said that, you got to realize who that person is. And in my opinion, they are no more than the devil that's trying to destroy you with ideas like that. What did the Bible say? When Satan came before God, he asked the question, what cometh thou? And the Satan replied, 2 and 4, up and down in the earth, seeing whom I may what? Devour. And when legislators talk about bringing marijuana forth as a law, hello, Satan. Hello, evil doers. And you got a lot of people that's already out there on the jump on the board. Why? Because we have leaders. If you see in the video, rappers out there with a big blunt, a big joint, and people looking at, oh man, that was so and so, so and so. He was smoking a blunt, and they're being influenced by music. They're being influenced by videos. Satan is coming, like he said. When when God asked him, where cometh thou? He said, to and fro, up and down in the earth, seeing whom I may devour. Hello, somebody. And because of that reason, our children right now are behind the wheel, not obeying the law because they may have a blunt. They may be high from marijuana, which is illegal. And then they run into someone traveling 100 miles an hour because when they were tested, they had controlled substance in their body. We lost 3 young ladies, if I remember, over on Shelby Drive near Hickory Hill because some idiot that was high running from the police and killed these people. Do you not see what's happening right now when marijuana is illegal? What do you think is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, when it becomes legal? And you know what? You'll sit back, you're gonna cry. Why my child, Lord? Why my child? Did you get up? My daughter, my son, did you get up and do what you were supposed to do to stop this city from coming Solomon and Gomorrah? Did you go vote? Then why are you asking God, why your child? Accident happen, but if accident happen because you didn't do your part to control what is going on in the city, it's on you. I don't mean to preach to you, but sometimes you just get sick and tired of talking about these individuals who you have given the power to. And it's an insult to me for Touche Parkinson, for London Lamar, and any other elected official or any individual that's in power to sit up and say that and letting young people hear, oh, Representative Parkinson said law needs to be came. And then one thing I hear too, London Lamar said it, but another thing I hear is they always thugging up. And then God bless the people who have cancer, bless the people who are going through. But you take a suffering individual and you want to get a law through where you can enjoy your joint while you smoking on your way to Nashville, Tennessee. I keep saying that drug tests the leadership. I wonder how many individuals on Capitol Hill in Nashville that if your drug test would be negative, or either test them for alcohol. The same people that going up there making law, most but not all, are making laws and breaking the law themselves. You want to talk about that 1%? Oh, yeah, we got to talk about that. You want to say the 1% ain't nothing. But let 1% of anything happen to you. That's illegal. That's against the law. From abuse. All of these things that you say 1% or whatever percentage it is, it doesn't matter. If you steal 1%, and I said it on yesterday, from my tax dollars, you are a crook, you are a liar, and you are a thief. And I hope, and I said this because we got to stop it. I hope and pray that if you took one dime of my tax dollars or the city of Memphis citizen tax dollars, you need to go to jail. You need to be locked up because we trusted you to get up there and represent us, but you got there and represented yourself. If it was nepotism, that you show favoritism, if there's a law that puts your butt in jail, you need to go to jail. And we need to stop drinking this political sweet tea. You need to get the unsweet tea because we need to undo these individuals who coming up with this mess that's destroying our city, from city hall to the county mayor's office, the county commission, the city council to state representatives. I call for you to take a drug test so we can know who you are. And you're sitting up there calling yourself somebody when you're leading people down the wrong track with the mentality of what you're doing. When you're robbing and you're stealing and you get up and you dress up, you want to be seen on the camera and you're not doing anything. You know more than what the little bird left on the limb. I'm talking to you elected official. You got to man up, you got to woman up and represent the people. And citizens of Memphis, stop putting these knuckleheads in office. And I will tell you the first way you start at the top of these knuckleheads. If these knuckleheads are getting 1.5 million to run for mayor, you need to remember that knucklehead. I'm talking about Paul Young. I'm talking about Lee Harris. You look at the money and who getting the money. It's those individuals who are getting high dollars to run for the county mayor, running for these positions to get $200,000, $300,000. Why? Because slavery is still alive and well. In 2026, you still can buy a Negro. It's proven. Check the status of the income. Why would anybody give someone 400,000? Why would you give a person 1.5 million? Why? Because those are their Negroes, and they just bought that Negro to do what they want to do. If you don't think a Negro is bought when he buy a hotel off of your bond money, tax dollars, or whatever, buy that hotel, turn around, turn it over to someone who's going to put $250 million to renovate the hotel. And then in the contract, when that all said and done, they give it to the Carlyle Group. That's bought and paid for individual. When the individual will not address the $77.7 million deficit of the city, they just tax us over that money, raise your taxes to get more money, create another deficit. But we sit back and we don't say nothing, we don't do nothing. And then we want to say, I need a handout. You don't need a handout. You got two hands. You need to take one of them and go to the poll on April 15th through the 30th and do the right thing. You're grown. You know what right versus what's wrong. You can see what these individuals are saying and what they are doing, and you letting them get away with it. You letting them get away with it, but you got to wake up. And I know you can shake these people up by just going and taking out their school board. Politically take them out because they went and did something right in your face. And they keep saying the 1%. 1%. That's all they said. Out of 25%, 1%. That 1% of what you think they found, 1% is nothing compared to the 75% that they ain't told you about. And push it. Keep pushing it to the point that let the federal attorney general office look at them and see, did they rip off the citizens of Memphis in that 1%? And then in the next 75%, those who live in high on the hall politically through contributions. That's all it was, contribution through contracts. But yet, you sitting here, dumb as, because you go into the voting booth and putting them in there and they robbing you blind. Now they robbing you blind and now they saying, hey, let's get them high. May not pass in 5 years, but just the mere thought of individuals who said, we love the children, we care about the children, but you are saying things and doing things that will hurt the children. And the children don't know no better because they've been around the people who didn't care their damn self. And y'all excuse me because it just kind of ticks me off that we can be so blind to what the devil is doing in leadership. You think the devil don't have demons out here working for him? If anybody says that, in my opinion, and reading the scripture and understanding it, To do that is a demon working on behalf of Satan, not on behalf of God. God wouldn't want you to be caught up in a substance that will mess you up. They always said that marijuana is the starting point for something higher as it relates to drugs. I've seen people fall out in the streets from marijuana and other substances that they so high they can't walk. Alcohol so high they can't pass the test from a DUI. They can't pass the variety test. They can't pass it. They can't take their hand and put it on their nose, close their eyes. They can't do that. They can't walk a straight line because of alcohol, because of marijuana. But these so-called leaders, they are pushing it. They are pushing it, and you are falling for it. And until you decide to speak up and stand up, it's going to continue to happen. And you letting it happen. You are, if you sit home, didn't register to vote, and have never voted, and don't vote in an election, you are your own worst enemy. Yeah, these politicians are doing what they're doing to you, but you're doing it to yourself. Every time you break a bar loop, whether it's Crown Royal or whether it's tequila or whatever, you're your worst enemy because you're destroying your mind, brain cell. You're destroying your future because how many people that you may know that have lost their job due to alcohol? How many have lost their job because they abused their children, their wives? How many have gotten so high they couldn't walk right? Who? You know some, I know some, but yet we still accept it. Oh yeah, yeah, they should pass it. They should pass the law. We need to do that. And I say to you that the city is passed. The devil who passed that and the devil who's profiting for it. Do you think that you could ever, if it became law, to get into that business? You probably got to pay millions of dollars just to be able to be qualified to own one of those stores. And then what is the difference from a pusher on the street to a legalized pusher? A store owner is legalized and he can push marijuana and dope on you as opposed to the unlegal person who's doing it. That's a comparison. Why do you think big pharmacies, big drug companies want to push those drugs on you? They take things that's from the earth to create certain medicines. What do you think? Why do you think they do that? Because it's a mental thing of control. They get in the business to become millionaires, billionaires, and they care nothing about you. They sitting back in their big yachts, driving their Lamborghinis and all of these Maybachs, or Maybach, or all of that off of your dime. And you just hook wink, you bamboozled, and you're being run amok. All because of the people who can buy Negroes in this city, can buy Negroes in this state that will go to Nashville, that will go to City Hall, that will go down to the county mayor's office and pass these ordinances and pass things that affect you. And then they have the audacity to say, hey, guess what? We'll take the money and we'll deal with the potholes. We'll fix the highways, something that we're already paying for. Wake up, people. You need to slap yourself. You need to throw cold water in your face to wake you up to what's happening to you. You go out there to these cemeteries, walk through the cemetery, and look at all the grave markers. I guarantee you there's a lot of people that's in the ground because of alcohol and because of marijuana and other hard drugs. They're there. We may not know who they are. All we know is their tombstones are there. We don't know whether they were doing legal drugs or illegal drugs, but the result of whatever they was doing is there. I'm gonna remind you one more time, and I'm gonna leave you alone. Satan went before God in heaven, and God asked Satan, "Where thou cometh?" And he said this: "To and fro, up and down, in the earth, seeing whom I may devour." And you don't think a person with the mindset I do, in my opinion, that tells you that they want to legalize something that can cost your life, that can cause you to become addicted to it, but they gonna say, "Oh, we need to do it." My grandmother used to say something all the time, and I love that woman. She used to always talk to me, and she said, when I would make a statement, she said, "Because they do it, will you do it?" And she used to use it like this. She said, "If so and so went and jumped off a bridge, would you do it too?" In other words, following other states doing other things. And if you really care about the people, I wouldn't care if California, I wouldn't care if Colorado, I don't care who else is doing it. I care about you. And you got a lot of demons sitting on their passing, spending your money, putting money in their pocket, using drugs. Elected officials take a drug test. Prove me wrong. I'm talking to you every day. Prove me wrong that you are not smoking, that you're not taking pills. Huh? All I can say is stupid is as stupid does. And we got a whole lot of people in leadership that's stupid. And we got a whole lot of people that follow them that's stupid. That's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot get around the stupidity that is happening in this city. And if you don't do it, the right thing, the next election, you don't get up and go register and vote. Don't complain. Don't even get in the food line when the churches and people are feeding you because you don't need to be fed. Because you don't want to do anything for yourself. Why waste time feeding you? See, I'm tired of it. When I go by and I look at the food line and I like, God bless the people who really deserve it. God bless them for being in that line. But at the same time, when they're in that line, did you go do what people died for you to have the right to do and vote? You know, you get the handout. God bless the people that gave you the handout. But did you do something to help yourself? See, we want to take instead of giving. If you ain't got nothing, you can give something. You can give your time. You can take these kids and mentor them. You could do something, but you don't want to. You want that handout. And the scripture said we should help those who are less fortunate. And I believe that. But I also believe that in that scriptures, it ought to say, and it should say, and it does say, God help those who help themselves. Instead of getting in that line, when you can help yourself and you don't help yourself, then shame on you. Because this show is called Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. These devils. And I want more than anything that those individuals, when the 75% come and you broke the law, I would be pushing from here to high heaven that you go to jail. Because if everybody else who abided by the law, who have come here, did everything they would need to do to be a good citizen and not a thief, a liar, and a murderer. Yes, when you vote on something that's going to cause people to be addicted and die from, whether it's alcohol already, to marijuana, you are a murderer. You know what they call certain crime accessory to the crime. And if you vote and you get up and talk about passing laws of marijuana, you are an accessory to that little child that's going to die because they started out using marijuana and they elevated to the point that they OD'd. You are an accessory, no matter who you are, in my opinion, to murder, and you should be charged with murder one. Don't break it down point blank. You should be charged because you are an accessory to whatever law you pass, and it's caused someone to die from. But the law don't say that because there's money in everything when it comes to politics. Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you being a part of this program. Think about what I've said today. Subscribe to this program, push like, go to our YouTube channel, go to our website and Spotify. All you can find under MemphisRealTalk.com. MemphisRealTalk.com. You can find those on the name MemphisRealTalk.com. I appreciate you. I appreciate you tuning in and being a part. And I hope I have enlightened you and woke you up to think about what you have done. I've helped people in my life so far to get off of drugs, to get off of alcohol. For my 28 years of doing good as a probation officer, helping people, I feel good about what I have done. If it's asking me, James Bernard, what cometh thou? I would say, in your blessings, I was in the earth and I tried to help somebody. As I traveled along, I had try to help somebody with a word or song, so my living will not be in vain. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you. In the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, I'll see you tomorrow. In my words, I always say, and what I said today proves my point. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Have a great evening.